Hi everyone, I'd like to show you the new GIS or Shapefile Export feature in Microsurvey CAD 2021. First of all, I'm going to import a DBX project here. That's a Leica DBX. We'll skip the point cloud because that doesn't go through into the shapefile anyway. So now you can see the DBX project has been brought in, complete with line work from the field and everything. We've got some curves, we've got some trees, we've got some center lines, other road lines, and that sort of stuff. There is some attributed information in here. If I make sure my grips are off, I can click on this tree point here, and it has some additional attribute information with it. You can see here we've got a height and a type for this tree, and actually one of the improvements we've made for Microsurvey CAD 2021 is we've made this dialog resizable. So if you have any long attribute values or a lot of attribute values, you can resize it, and there's actually scroll bars in here too. I'll just shrink it up so you can kind of see that, but those are now in there, so if you've got any oversize or lots of attributes, you can see them. I'll illustrate one of the other features that we've done here first. I've got the export attribute table button here too. This is a new feature for this version as well, and what that's going to do is it's going to take every point in the project and every point or a selection of points and export any attributes available with them as well. So I can just manually select points here now if I like, or I can type all and it'll select everything. I'm going to set a name for it, and now it's going to ask me if I want to open that up, and I'll click yes. I'll give it a second to open here. And what you can see here is that it has exported the northing easting elevation, latitude, longitude, and description, and any attributes available from the points that I selected, which was all points. So as far as this project is concerned, there are only trees with attributes in this project, so we only got the tree attribute values here. If there were other points with attributes in this project, they would just carry on filling out columns here so that we could look at the attributes there. So something you can do here to easily review them, you can freeze the top row, and you can actually freeze the left column as well if you need to scroll over and look at attributes. But this will allow me to scroll through and find the trees that have those attributes set for them. So this one here has just a height of 2 set. And here's that other one that I was looking at before that has the height and the type. So that's just a useful way to look at the various attributes for points in your project and review them. Maybe you're looking for a specific value or something like that. You can use Excel to sort them out in that way. So moving along here, I'll show you the Shapefile Export now. What I can do now is I'll click on that, or GIS export is the command. Same thing, we can select entities. I can just pick one of them or whatever. I'll do that now. But we've also got a couple of buttons on the dialog here. So I can select objects and I can manually select certain things that I'd like. Or I can select all. So now that's done. I'm going to click Browse. And what I'm going to recommend is that you create a folder. As far as shapefile rules go, shapefiles can only contain one set of attribute values. So what we've done is any points that have a description will create their own shapefile. So then you may have attributes set to a point based on its description. So for a tree, we've got the height and type and diameter and that sort of thing. But maybe for a manhole, you've got a depth or an elevation value or a type set or whatever. And so that just serves to keep them all separate for you. So when we export, we don't make you pick specific objects, like only lines, or only polylines, polygons, or points. That's the object types that are supported in shapefiles. So the points, polygons, and polylines. Anything that you select will be converted into one of those three types. We do support exporting GIS objects. So if you've imported another shapefile or a KML file or something like that, you can export that to a shapefile this way. We support FieldGenius attributes. So if you've done a project in FieldGenius and stored GIS attributes for it, same as I've done with this Leica DBX, you can do the same thing. And we export CAD objects as well. So any CAD objects that you've got in there, so that would be lines, polylines, 3D polylines, you name it. We've tried to support as much as possible in there, and those will be filtered out into various shapefile files and object types. So circles will be stored as polygons because there is no circle or arc object type within shapefiles. Arcs will be stored as polylines because they're not closed. Closed polylines will be stored as polygons, and so on. For arcs and circles, you'll need to pay attention to the curve resolution here. This is set at 0.1 meters or a dec for metric projects, and it's set at 0.25 feet or a quarter of a foot for imperial projects. It's really just a number to tell you how far the vertices will be apart on those objects when you export them, and changing this resolution can help to change the size of your shapefile if you've got a lot of curved objects in there. Hatches will be exported as polygons if you so choose. You can choose to export the shapefile as 2D or 3D by checking or unchecking this box here. And you can choose to write out the coordinate system information in a PRJ file with the shapefile by checking or unchecking this box here. The PRJ file is optional. It does not need to be included with the shapefile. So if you're importing into a project where you already have a coordinate system set up or something like that, you don't need to do that. You can click on the help for more information if you like. I'm going to click on export here. And so now that file has been created where I specified there. Sorry, I'll just open it up. Okay, so here is our shapefile export. As you can see, as I described before, these are all descriptions from the points. So we've got benchmark, building, centerline, fence, footpath, and so on. But we also have some generic shape files here as well, and these will be created for the CAD objects. And so we're going to have points, polylines, and I didn't have any polygons in here if you remember, but there would be a polygons shapefile as well for any CAD objects that would be converted to a polygon. We do our best to filter these out into the appropriate shapefiles, splitting up anything that's necessary. So hopefully we shouldn't have any issues with that. We do try and pay close attention to it. But now these are able to be re-imported into Microsurvey CAD or another program. So I'll just show you that here with Google Earth. So here, I'm back here, and just to emphasize it, I will grab the shapefile. The set of 4 files here is considered the shapefile, not just the SHP. And we can drag that into Google Earth. You can set a style template to set a color or something. I'm going to save it though. And so you can see now that that file's been brought in the correct location. And I'll do the same thing over in QGIS as well so you can see it. Grab that, and I believe I can actually do this with all of them. Yes. And bring in some background imagery so you can see the same thing. There we go. So you can see all of those points and lines and everything have been brought in. Here's the tree that I was looking at before. Let's grab some information on that one. Oops. And we can see the values there. You'll also see that we have exported out some survey type values with this. Any points that you export are going to have the point ID, description, northing, easting, elevation, latitude, longitude, all associated with them if they are available. And then what's exported with any other type, so this is just the CAD line work now, and that sort of thing, any CAD points and whatever, they're going to have a CAD handle that you can find by listing that object in your project, and then they're going to have a CAD layer associated with them as well. So because this was created from the curb points using the AutoMap system in Microsurvey CAD, the layers were automatically stored as line-curb. So you'll be able to trace them back through the project that way. So if you have any submission requirements in your jurisdiction for shape files, that's becoming increasingly common. Or if you work with a GIS department at your company, that's another common one. This is a good way to get smart or attributed data back and forth from Microsurvey CAD using DBX projects or Field Genius projects or whatever you like. So thank you for watching.